All of that is true. I really wanted to just touch on the Keenan topic, just real quick. Noble, have you gotten therapy since you dealt with Keenan's mum? Because it's like Keenan's burning you, bro.
I'll be honest with you, man. Let me be 100% honest with you. No, I have not been in therapy, man. Listen, Keenan, I don't know. Listen, man, I don't know any little Keenans personally. Now, listen, let me say this. Let me say this. I'll be 100% honest with y'all. 2, 3 years ago, when I was younger and just wasn't as mature as I am right now, like, it's not that I did it. I'm not going to say that I didn't see like women that had kids. Like I didn't. It's not, I don't want to say that I didn't think that they had any value, but like I definitely would have just not even entertained them at all. But now now I'm like really at an age where like, bro, there's so many people my age that have kids, and at the end of the day, learning Tarot. At the end of the day, like I do talk to women that have kids, like, you know, I talked to a girl that had 3 kids before. I'm cool with a girl that got 1 kid. I'm cool with girls that got a girl that got 2 kids. Like at the end of the day, learning Tarot, like my relationship is with them, and I'm not in a committed. I've never been in a committed exclusive relationship with any woman that has a child. So I know morally that if I was to get into a relationship like with them, um I would have to accept their child or children. But like as long as that's not what the situation is, I'm not buying Lil Keenan no Jordans. I'm not buying his peanut head ass no Nike tech suits. I'm not paying for basketball for him to be on the basketball team. I'm not doing any of that. So it's like at the end of
All
the
right.
day, I have a
So I want
relationship
to
with the
interject real quick.
actual. I have a relationship with the actual woman. You know what I mean? So it's not
Yeah.
really a big deal to me at the
So
end.
so do you feel like it's fair for single men? When I say single, I mean you don't have a child, cat, dog, nothing,
Yeah.
to date a woman who has a child or children. Do you feel like it's fair? And then I'll ask also the other way around. So if a woman has no children,
Uh
is
huh.
it fair that she should date somebody with children?
Yeah. Those are great questions, and I like talking about this stuff because, I'm 25, and a couple of years ago, even 3 years ago, I wasn't dealing with anyone that had kids at all. Like not even talking to them. But like I said, I'm a little older now, and life is different. Stuff is different. Meeting different people. Um, but this is I don't. I'll be honest with you, Learning Terror. I don't see anything wrong with it. Either way. But this is my thing, Learning Terror. Um,
Taro,
Tarot.
bro.
I'm sorry.
I gotta. You've been killing me with
I've been saying
that.
everybody's name wrong, guys. I'm literally
Yeah.
I literally been drinking water the whole night, just so y'all know. But learning tarot. Yeah, this is my thing though, learning tarot. I think a lot of like, don't take the disrespect. I think a lot of single mothers is like messing up the dating scene. Um, because I know personally, learning tarot, I've had women in real life personally tell me and on here, despite the fact that they have children, they're not interested in dating. They're not interested in dating men that have children. Like so, they have a preference. They have a preference of dating a single childless man. So like they don't want to be a stepmother to like another man's children, but they want a man to take his money and his resources and put that all into her and her child or her children. So
I would
I
say,
find that to be very interesting. But like I said, learning tarot, as long as I'm not in a committed exclusive relationship with a woman that has a child or children, her child or children are not my responsibility. So my relationship is just with them, and that's literally how I think about it. I'm like I can be cool with a woman that has, like I said, 3 kids. I'm not taking care of her kids at the end of the day. So, and even the woman that I'm cool with that has 3 kids, she has 3 kids by 3 different men. And it's like, it's none of my business. It's not my problem. I'm not taking care of her kids financially or
Is
any other way.
is
So
that a person you feel? Is that a person you feel you can commit to though, or are you looking for commitment in terms of marriage at all?
okay, so the good questions. I'll answer your last one first. Right now, I'm definitely like I'm young learning tarot. Like I'm not trying. I know for a fact I'm not trying to be married and have kids and trying to have a family. Like even in the next 2 to 3 years, like I'm trying to be. I'm focused on becoming more accomplished, more successful, making more money, getting more streams of income. Like that's what my focus is right now. So my family is not my focus right now. At my age now, to answer
And
your
like somebody mentioned earlier, being younger, you have a larger dating pool to pick from. So, like you said, you're young. So, like, we don't necessarily have to settle for that kind of stuff right now because the dating pool is larger. Now, if I get older and it's like, okay, my biological time clock is ticking, like maybe, a man with a kid or something will be first pick. But, like, the dating pool is large for younger people.
Man,
no,
I
but
dated a chick.
your first question is a very good question,
Yeah,
learning tarot,
I think
because
that's debatable.
what's debatable.
Hmm.
No, I was gonna say your first
What
question
Zaria was saying.
about the dating pool being larger.
Hmm.
It
How
it
so?
becomes so at one point it is, and then it slinky. Well, it kind of constricts, but around 33 to 35, it
Well,
opens
so
back up.
generally speaking,
But but once it opens back up,
Yeah,
all of the people that
it
you're dealing
opens
with
up
at
then.
that point
Like there's a part
are
where
going to have
everybody's
kids.
divorced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let
wait,
me.
so I don't know.
I think for women, I feel like for sure, like right now I could date men my age and significantly 20 years older, honestly. And I feel that's the same for men as well. When they get
Yeah.
older, they can date 20-year-old women. So, like
I
I
did
feel
it.
like that it stays open.
I'll
I
say
did it
this
with
though.
4 kids.
I'll say this, and then I'll answer your first question, Learning Tarot. Um, Zaria. Please tell me I said that.
You need to just say
Zaria,
Z.
bro.
This is getting real
Zaria.
out
Oh
of
my
control.
gosh, Zaria. No, listen about the whole about
Okay.
the older men dating the younger woman, bro. I really only think like listen, and OG, you can let me know if I'm wrong. Like you gotta be. I think to really for a man to be in his like early 40s, late 30s, and be dating like a really good, attractive looking 25-year-old or a woman in her like mid late 20s. But he gotta be having something like really going for himself.
Yeah,
Like
he got to be up there.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, right there.
Yeah.
that luxury is not just afforded for any older man. Because at the end of the day, I
Yep.
don't care what any of these women say. Like Fran is 23,
Right.
Zaria is 23. At the end of the day,
Yeah,
bro,
that's
they're
what I
not
was
gonna
saying. It's
be
debatable.
entertaining. They're not
Wait,
gonna
wait,
be
no.
entertaining no older men because all these women try
Wait,
to talk
that's
about
Pat
maturity and
though.
this, that, and the third. It's not about maturity. At the end of the day,
Okay,
it is
but
about
wait.
that man's money. It's about his pockets and it's about what he's willing to spend and do for them at the end of the day.
I
Now,
Wait,
agree, but
hold
on
on.
the circumstance of you shouldn't be on the same level as the men that are my age at 43. Like I
Yes,
correct.
agree with you, but under that
exactly.
circumstance of
Yeah.
like
Zaria,
I
I
would
agree
hope
with you
as a
on that.
43
I
year
agree
old
with you on
you
that.
do
So
not have the same type of situation as the average 23, 24-year-old man. Like those are the ones who just graduated college, fresh in their career or in their trade,
Yes.
whatever the case may be. At 40 something years
yeah.
old, like I would hope that you bring more to the table than like
Yes.
the
Yes.
average young
But
person.
Zaria, this is the thing though. Y'all are not interested. Y'all are again because a lot of y'all are dating for the wrong reasons. You not interested in a man your age. You not interested in a man that's
Okay,
just getting
wait,
out
wait,
of
wait.
school.
No, but wait.
Not true.
One second.
Let him
Y'all,
finish. Let him finish.
most of y'all are not interested in a man that's
Wait.
just getting out of school, starting his career. And again, y'all want the wrong things. And at the end of the day, you can't sit no 23, no 24, no
Mm,
25-year-old can sit here and tell me that they're just naturally attracted to a 40-year-old man. Bro, y'all don't really have nothing in common for real.
okay.
Only thing
Well,
y'all
I don't
have in
know,
Hold
because I'm
common
on.
fine
is
as a
Okay.
motherfucker for
Firstly,
42. So,
dollar signs
Well,
and that y'all can see things clearly.
firstly, though.
Y'all don't have
no, no,
anything
no.
in
Firstly,
common at
the
the
You
end of the day.
wait, y'all.
You're not gonna be
Hold on.
attracted. You're not gonna love. You're not gonna love. You're not
We've been
gonna love no
noble.
40-year-old broke man. Okay, The only if a
No,
No,
man is
of
40
course
and
not.
broke, you're
A
not gonna love him.
40-year-old broke man?
not a broke
Absolutely
man.
not, because I'm not a 23-year-old broke woman. Like,
I would
I'm
say
not
Even if
doing
you
that.
were,
even an
Exactly.
average
Thank
40 year
you.
old dude, I
Like, if
don't
I'm
think I'm
not
going
broke, of
after.
course I'm not gonna love someone who's broke. Like, I want someone
even
at
an
least we
average
can
Yeah,
40
be.
year old
an
man, you're
average
not gonna
40 year
care
old
about him
dude.
much.
Yeah, they
They
not even
need to
gonna
meet
fuck.
So
minimum on the same level. And if you think about it, for myself and Z, right? Like, we're successful women. Like, of course, we're going to want someone who's earning at least better because we're probably more attracted to older men because, of course, the frontal cortex for men develops a little later. So
But let me
for
let
my
me let
dad, he
me
always told
answer
me
let me
5 years is
answer
what?
And
usually
Zara's
like the
wait a minute.
question.
difference.
Let me get
Frontal
let me
cortex
get to this.
development.
Wait, I want to address that one point that you said,
I
like
think.
me and
I,
a 40 year
wait,
old
one more
man
thing.
Get the
wouldn't
fuck out
like.
of here.
I want
No,
to
you go
address the
ahead,
quick,
man.
really quick, where he said that like us being 23, we won't relate to a 40-year-old man. Like, honestly, like with the date and how stuff moves and whatever, I feel like there's
I
a
relate
lot
to
of things
40-year
to
old
relate
men
on.
better.
But also, like, I like to be taught stuff. I would rather be like talking to somebody that's putting me on game to like the stuff that I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
really
yeah,
care about having the same repetitive conversations about Instagram and
yeah,
who
yeah,
liking
yeah,
little babies posts.
Right.
Like, I don't care about that. I'd rather.
because Zaria,
Can I just also add?
Zaria, you can't because you can't learn anything from nobody your age or a couple years older than you. But you know
And I
what?
don't want to say that.
You wouldn't be
Yeah.
talking nothing about that learning stuff if that man wasn't didn't have money, wasn't trying to spend no money on you. Like, let's cut it out, bro.
so
But
I've
like,
I've I've,
frankly,
I've been on
Noble,
both
like,
aspects. I've been on both parts of these spectrums, right? When I was in high school, I dated a chick that was 26. When I actually, yeah, I was getting divorced
wait, that's
and I was separated legally.
In high school?
Uh, in high school, yeah. When I was,
like,
again, I told y'all,
wait,
I've lived a very crazy ass life.
that's
I'm a
Damn, you
motherfucker.
abuse.
was getting divorced in high school?
So no, when I was
Oh,
38,
I heard.
I dated a chick. Y'all ain't let me
Oh,
finish.
wait, what?
I ain't that fast. Damn. When I was 38, I dated a chick that was 24, right? And it took me up until the age of 30
Hey, friend,
of
friend,
40.
friend, please mute up, friend. You got an echo coming in. You got some noise coming in.
I was
It
typing.
took
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
No,
Sorry.
it's all right. It took me up to the age of when I was 40. And so I was like, damn, all of this. I've done it all and things ain't lining up. So when I was in high school and dating an older woman, I had to realize it was what it was. And she was using me for the D. I'm a basketball player. You know, I'm young and strong and dumb, and all I had to do was lay the pipe down for an hour and a half, and she bought me cologne, and I'm thinking this and giving me a few bucks, and I'm like, this is the greatest thing in the world.
Sugar
She took
baby.
me to Pizza Hut, and
Okay,
I
wait.
was like ecstatic. You
Right.
Not
dig?
pizza.
I've got to be honest though. Like, I
Yes,
think for
Pizza
older
Hut,
women,
and it wasn't just me. She took me and my buddies to Pizza Hut. She treated all of us
I,
because she a
I,
grown ass woman with a career.
I have to be honest. Given the development of like brains solely between female and male, and I hope no one takes offense at that. Um, it's very weird to me when older women pursue specifically younger men, like younger, right? Like you said, 18 and 26. Like that's insane to me. Eight
Well, I was
years.
also raised by a pimp, so
But like I'm
Oops.
you know.
23. I wouldn't even imagine dating an 18-year-old. I
Whoa.
would feel so strange.
But you
For
slid down
me
there.
personally, I'm dating a man.
Right?
My boyfriend is currently 10 years my senior, which for some people might seem a little strange, but like we get on well. He's in the same industry. Like it's fantastic, but like the other way around would be so wrong
Shit, she
and
was
so
coming to my
weird because
goddamn
like we
band
have like a
concerts and
maternal
driving me
instinct and stuff
home.
like that. Like it's just so
Don't you
messed
feel
up.
like that's a double standard though?
That's your
Don't you feel that's
your
a double
mama.
standard, friend?
I'm gonna write a
That's a
book
good.
about my
That's
life
No,
because it's
really
been
though, because
that's a
like
interesting.
good question,
the
learning
way
Turo.
that the frontal cortex develops between men and women is incredibly different. So women tend to
It
have more of
is.
like a motherly aspect and or seem more older at a younger age. For men, it kind of fully develops around 35-ish, like ish, but 30 is a general like bullet point kind of
But
vibe.
Yeah.
Um,
let's not act like a
But it's
40-year-old man
definitely a
can
double.
also still be super young and immature too.
Exactly.
Like the frontal lobe could
Yeah.
be
Exactly.
completely like there, but at the end of the day,
it
I
can't
really
be completely
it's about
developed.
maturity. Yeah.
at 20. But
Let me
no,
Yeah,
no.
answer.
But
but
that's about emotional intelligence. It's not about intelligence in general. It's about emotional intelligence, the ability to perceive and comprehend what is going on emotionally tends to develop later for
there are a
men.
lot of
That's just
women,
a
friend. There are a
biological
lot of women
fact.
who are 23 who lack emotional
No, but
intelligence,
23 is very young.
and
Like, I don't
40.
fully have a fully developed EQ, but it is more
Yeah,
Okay,
but
developed than
there are a lot
my
of women who
peers
so
are
of the same
in
40
age.
and
high
lack
school,
emotional intelligence.
I was also I was a
No,
nerd
but it's
before being a
more
nerd was
developed than my
popular.
peers of the same age,
So
right? Like, men
I
who
did a
are the
lot of
same
reading,
age.
and I was able to hold a lot of different
Not
discussion
necessarily.
with people a lot older than who I was, theologians, different professors. That's and my mother was a teacher, so that's part of what I and who I am when I was a kid. So when she first met me and her and I first conversed, she was like, "Hey, blah blah blah," and we started to actually converse, and we held a conversation. Um, and then she was like, "Well, how old are you?" And I was like, "Well, I'm 16." She was like, "Boy, we done already had sex. I'm 26." I was like, "Damn, I guess you got caught." You know what I mean?
Hold
So
on, hold
What?
on. Whoa, wait a
Okay,
goddamn minute.
let's
Is this
back
the
up a
Wait,
same
little bit.
wait,
person or is
yeah.
this a different person?
Rewind.
Hey, hold on. Let me answer. Let me answer.
Rewind.
Learning tarot. Let me answer. Learning tarot. You had asked me. You had asked me.
God.
Could I see myself committing to a woman that had a child or children? So learning tarot, like again, like I said, I'll be 100% honest with you. Listen, I don't know. I don't like. I don't know. I don't know the future. And like I said, I'm not the immature. I don't even want to say immature. I'm just more mature than I was 2, 3 years back in like these are just people at the end of the day. And like I said, I'm not taking care of the kids now. Listen, Noble, you would be a fool. No, listen, super villain, listen. I think I can see myself committing to like at this age that I'm at right now, just being 100% honest. Do I think I can see myself committing to hey, what's up, Rashad? I see you. Do I think I can see myself committing to a woman that got like 2 kids that's not mine? Whether she had them by one man or two men, I don't think so. But one, I don't know. I
Hey,
don't know.
don't
friend,
do
it's a
I
little
don't never.
static
I'm
in
not
your
it.
gonna say
Don't
never.
do it.
I'm not gonna say never because I don't know the future. But listen, this is the thing. This is my
Yeah.
Don't
problem
do
though.
it.
This is my problem though. Learning tarot. People be like, oh, you listen. If that's not what if you don't think that's what you into, you should leave those women alone. Why? Why again? Why are women that have children? Why are they not just trying to get with men that already have children? Why are they coming? Why are they trying to like talk to and entertain single childless men? So I'm of the belief that no, single childless men and single childless women can talk to people that have children if those people are entertaining them and pursuing them at the end of the day. It is what it is.
Noble, noble.
Yeah.
I
Okay, I just
when I
want to
was
say real quick.
24,
Noble.
25.
Hold on.
Yeah, go
Sorry.
ahead, go ahead.
So I want to say, or let me ask rather. So you feel like you're not in a position where you can commit to the lady with 3 kids, yeah?
Definitely not
And
three
you're
kids.
dealing with her, and you're dealing with her, but you don't want to commit with her. So you're just passing time. Is she
Yeah,
aware of
don't
that?
do it.
That we're just passing time? Like what?
This
You
is
understand what I mean? Are you
that's a
guys
good question.
both on the same page when it comes to it?
No, that's a great question. Listen, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, Larry Terrell. Listen, I'm very. It's at the end of the day, I'm not at the age no more where I'm like, where we just about to just like we're not gonna put a title or anything, or we're not gonna communicate, and we're gonna be in some sort of situationship, and even though we never said that we're exclusively together, we gonna move like we exclusively together. I'm not doing that. Like at the end of the day, if we don't communicate and say that we're in a committed, exclusive relationship, you're gonna be doing what you're gonna be doing, and I'm gonna be doing what I'm gonna be doing at the end of the day. Because I've been younger before. I've invested feelings. I've got emotionally invested into stuff where we never communicated that we was exclusively together, and had my feelings hurt and vice versa. And so I'm grown and more mature now. So if we don't communicate that, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna be moving or thinking in my head that it's something that it's not. That's just what it is at the end of the day.
Noble.
Okay, well,
I was in a
that's fair. I
relationship.
just think I just think a lot of
Go ahead.
times
Go ahead.
like
You got
people
it.
who are in your situation, right? Like you don't have kids, you have no intention of getting with this woman, and then she, like you said, a lot of women with kids, they like to have a standard where they only date single men. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean, or childless men,
Yeah.
and so a lot of times there's a disconnect between what we're doing here, right? Because she's trying to get you to commit them way and you're trying to pass time. And I think a lot of issues happen there. And then there's baby daddy number 4. You know what I mean? So it's just,
Okay, let me respond respectfully. I disagree because again, learning tarot. Any woman, whether she got one kid, whether she got 2 kids, whether she got 3 kids, if she's dealing with a childless man and she is really looking for commitment, she should be communicating that she's looking for commitment. Like I'm 25 years old. Like if anyone is looking for a commitment, man or woman, I think that they should be telling the other person, like, I'm trying to be in a committed, exclusive relationship with you. I don't care if we talk
Right.
every day. I don't care
yeah, yeah,
about
that's true.
FaceTimes. I don't care, linking up. I don't care about any of that. Like, what is that woman doing if she's not trying to make it clear about what she wants out of the situation? So, like I said, I'm not at a place in my life anymore where I'm allowing myself to get too emotionally invested into something that hasn't been clearly established. I'm just not doing that anymore at
Yeah.
all. And
From my
I'm not
end,
wrong
I
for
will
that, and I don't
never
think the
be
woman is
fourth
wrong for
baby
that.
mama.
You said what?
I'm never.
Look,
I said I'm never gonna be fourth baby mama on this
Yeah,
end.
man,
That's
I'm
not
never gonna be
happening.
poor baby dad
Yeah,
either.
that don't make no sense to me.
Zaria, I
That's
don't know
crazy.
why. I feel like American girls do this a lot. What is with baby number mama number 4, 5, 6? What is going on?
hard headed, hard
It's
headed.
so wacky.
They don't
And
learn.
Honest,
I'll touch on
I
that.
think
I'll
that's
touch on
very
that.
rare
I'll
though.
touch
Like
on that point
I
in
know
a
it's
second,
spoken
though.
of.
No, friend, I'm
No,
not
you go
like
ahead.
I would say it's rare, but it really depends on the areas that you look in, the demographics you look in. Because having 3 baby moms or baby dads is really not rare anymore. Like that's
Right.
around
It's
every
not
corner,
rare at
every
all.
I
neighborhood, every
he said
school.
Extremely
Like to the
And
common,
that's
point
a
where
Brad.
it's
problem.
it's
It's
kids that
It's
extremely
a
even
common.
with
problem.
like the men or whatever, like
It's
there's
such a
kids that
problem.
are even like the same age that men have with 2 different women, and they like what do you call? I forgot the term that
No,
people call them, but like
literally.
you'll have
Irish
okay,
kids,
twins.
so but
yeah,
like
Irish twins. They're both in 3rd grade, but they have 2 different moms. Like that's crazy.
Oh my, it's terrible,
So,
that that
so
is
noble.
nuts. But I
and it's
think like
happening
I
like
think he
What's
said
good,
like
OG?
6
oh,
something.
sorry.
Someone
I
said
was
like
24,
6, and I
25
was
years
just like,
old,
that's
and
rare.
I was dating a woman that had a daughter
Uh huh.
and was pregnant,
Uh huh.
and well, she ended up getting pregnant, not by me, but she had a child, and we actually communicated that after a while we'd just go ahead and be together. And when I tell you, she broke my heart, bruh. The bottom fell
That's
out of
some.
my feet. It fell out of my feet. My heart fell out of
Wait,
my
hold on, hold
feet.
on, hold on,
You
OG,
It
should
hold
was
have.
on, OG, wait,
gone.
You
OG,
should
wait.
have.
So she already had a kid and she had a newborn, and you was with her.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking kind of
Yeah.
confused on. That
And
don't
I
make
was
no.
I was
No,
that guy.
See, that's
Like
kind of you
I
got to
was
take
that guy.
accountability on that one, big dog. Like you should have
Right.
like
Well, no, it wasn't my daughter.
Who's
It
the
wasn't it wasn't my
newborn
kid.
exactly.
born?
That's
Like
what I'm saying. You
they
know,
say under
you
5 the
so
pregnant
relationship
and she
alive.
already got a kid. Like you
Oh
should
my
have been
god.
like, damn, she
Wait, OG,
already
OG,
pregnant.
wait, OG, wait. Were you dating her while she was pregnant?
yes. Young and dumb. Listen, I've made
Where?
every
What in
Oh
the
my
mistake
hell?
in the
god.
book. I've made
How
every
did she
mistake in
convince
the book, and
you?
I've learned. So
That's a simp
a lot
right
of stuff that
there,
I say
boy.
is
Like,
very much so anecdotal, because I literally went through the gambit of relationships.
What
Every
kind of
last
manipulation
point in turn
tactics
of
did
yeah.
this
relationships,
girl use?
I've been through it to the
Wait,
point to where I was literally, and I told you this before, I was literally married to a textbook narcissist. So the conversations that the two guys were having before, I began to side with Burke because I understood where he was coming from, and I even laughed at what he was saying because he did say that it was satire. He actually did, and I'm still going through therapy from being married to a narcissist. Right. Yesterday, as a matter of fact, if
God
I like,
damn.
I'm 100% honest. I have no issue with being 100% honest. I'm an open book. Yesterday, I had to shut down and take a mental health break because of my ex. I went through a divorce for 3 years.
Yeah, I know.
Right? And I'm still going through a lot of stuff simply to try and unlearn a lot of the things that I went through in that marriage. So, yes, I was in a relationship with a woman that had a kid and was pregnant, so on and so forth. And when I tell you that I was heartbroken, this motherfucker was cold with it too, right? I took a bus, a Greyhound, to travel to her town that took 12 hours to get there. You dig? We hung out for a week, my man. Hung out for a week. She came home after her divorce was final one day, looked at me dead in the face and told me, I don't think I want to be in a relationship. And I was like, what the fuck? What am I supposed to do now? And
So
she
she
drove me to Chicago to my dad's house and
Wait,
dropped me off.
Wait, OG, I just want to be
Hold
100%
on.
clear.
It's so much stuff that gotta
Yeah,
be
this is a lot.
Yes.
You were dating
Okay,
you were dating a woman that literally had a damn near 7-8
husband.
month pregnant stomach for another man.
Yes.
And she had another kid.
Yes.
And
she
made
was married.
Catch her butt. She was
married. Okay.
God,
All right.
that sounds like a movie.
And she got a divorce. She got a
This is giving
divorce
Tyler
while
Perry.
we were dating. She got a divorce while we were dating.
Bruh.
The same day she got a divorce, I was at her parents' house. She walked in and I was like, what's happening, baby? What went on in court? And she was like, well, the divorce is final, but I don't think I want to be in a relationship. And she drove me from Ben Harbor, Michigan to Chicago.
B-Trey, hey.
What?
Cold-blooded, baby.
Do this anymore, and then drove him back.
Drove him.
Yes.
Damn bus.
Cold-blooded.
Back.
Man, when I tell you,
I can't even.
When I tell you,
I don't know.
When I tell you that my heart was broken, my dad was like, son, you got to pick yourself up. You can't keep being like this.
Hell yeah.
Because I didn't want to do shit. I was immobile.
Wait.
I didn't want to do nothing.
Were you sleeping with this pregnant lady?
Absolutely.
Of course.
What?
Right.
Yeah.
Bro, this
I'm
is
gonna tell you
bad.
something, yeah. I'm gonna tell you something.
I'm saying, so if you're dating a woman with kids in your younger years, all I'm saying is, I'm not saying that they're not worthy of love. I'm not saying that they're not good people.
Of course not.
They are. They absolutely are. But you have to realize and understand that they're going through their own shit and they're still learning themselves. There's still a point in time that they have to realize that I've got to fix myself. They have to do that. And I didn't understand that at the time. And the consequence was my heart being torn and twined. I was hurt. I'm buying Jordans. I'm buying clothes.
No.
I'm singing to the girls. Yes, absolutely. I did that.
Bro,
I was there before.
You supposed to be
May I
big
ask?
pimping. You supposed to be big pimping in the Bay. And you was doing that.
Wait, and you said your
No, I'm not from California, from Southside St. Louis. And I was raised by a fucking pimp.
Oh my God.
I was raised literally, I was raised by a pimp. And when I told my uncle, because that's who raised, he was my father figure. When I told him what happened, he was like, nephew, that's what the fuck you get. I told you.
Wait.
Bitches ain't shit.
Kind of crazy. Because I'm actually born and raised in St. Louis. So that's funny. But
yeah, Southside St. Louis. All day.
No, I'm not.
Went to Parkway Central.
No. I'm not a Southside girl. I was born and raised in North County.
This is terrible,
okay.
I'm disappointed in you.
But may I ask what the reason for your divorce was and why it was 3 years long? Or did you say that after 3 years? I couldn't remember. Or did it last for 3? Like, I was confused about that.
No,
part.
so I was married for 9 years. And it took 3 years for me to get a divorce. And I have 4 kids, same mother. But it took 3 years to get divorced.
That's so long. So sorry.
Wow.
Yeah, narcissist. She's literally the textbook version or definition of a narcissist. And going through that, because of all of the bullshit that I had been through relationships and learning what toxic love looks like, I hung on, and I didn't want to be the divorced guy. I wanted to hang on to traditional standards and maintain my marriage without understanding that this is a person who will never actually receive love from me. The love that she wanted was contingent on how she felt that minute, not
So
that
what
hour,
changed?
not that day.
What changed in between, like the minute you felt that you had, feelings for her, and then you gave her a ring? Like, what changed in between that? Like, I love you, want to be with you forever, to like she's a narcissist, and like that separation.
That's a great question. So it took, and it was a long learning curve, a very long learning curve to understand. So I'm really not a stupid guy. I'm very, very educated. And when I was in college, my actual degree was in psychology. And again, I'm a Renaissance guy, so I know a little bit about a lot of things. What ended up happening is I found myself always trying to win her love and win her approval. And in the process, I lost who I was in between our four kids. And it got to the point that I ended up getting arrested under false pretenses.
God damn.
And that's when
Yeah,
I decided to file for divorce. I am the petitioner in the divorce decree.
wow.
Which
I'm
is a very
At
rare
this
I'm
point,
thing.
sorry.
J
Men
Glass,
don't
you just need to
generally.
tell us when the book is dropping. We need to know when the book is dropping, Dad, because this is the story right here.
Yeah, men don't generally file for divorce, but I had to file for divorce because of the situation and where I was in life, and wanting to gain an understanding and wanting to love myself. I lost myself in that relationship, and that's the truth of it. So if you
Yeah.
if you are actually in a relationship with a narcissist,
Someone
they
just
will
said book
love bomb
education
you
is
to
not
the.
equivalent.
Say again.
I do think that in situations with men, I see also that like men will sometimes try to transform themselves into something or somebody that like the girl of their dreams wants them to be. So like I've
I
seen
Yeah,
I'm not.
men.
I won't do that.
Well, I will say I've
Yeah.
seen men, like, let's say for example, a girl that you think is like super pretty, has everything going, checks all the things off your box, and she's like, I want a man that's doing this and doing that and doing that. I've seen men try to shapeshift to be that, and then like they get in a relationship and then it doesn't last because like you can only act for so long.
yeah,
Yeah, and I
absolutely.
think I think that's why I
And
have an issue with like Kevin Samuels. Except, sorry, go ahead.
no, she was a stay at home mom. Um, I ended up stumbling into the career that I'm about to retire from, and I'll be making great money. I make decent money now, but she became, and she's got more education than what I do. Like by trade, by her degree, she's a scientist, a biologist, right? So she was a school teacher, and this is why I keep pushing prenups. And the woman that I'm with now, who is actually my high school sweetheart, her and I, we had a conversation, and we both agree that if we decide to marry, if we get to that point in life, we will have to definitively go into a marriage with a prenup. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Makes sense.
Like that is no longer a discussion. We've had it. I've been upfront with her, and she was upfront with me, and we didn't pull any punches, and we went into the conversation with the understanding of, well, what you eat don't make me shit, but let's be honest about finances, because she's very well off to do.
That's
So
I just think it's good that
being
you
in a
already had that
narcissistic,
concept.
yeah, again, I've been through the full gambit of relationships, right? And so being and understanding where once you begin to gain yourself back,
You
and once
was
I
lucky.
began to, yeah, it was tough. But once you become well rounded and you begin to like what you do, right? And I began to start businesses, and I started acting, and I started singing, and I started doing a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't know that I could do because I lost myself in that marriage just to appease her. And you're talking to a guy who would walk every day for 2 years, 3/4 of a mile to work one way and
God
back home for
damn.
lunch, back to work, and then walk again back home after work.
Yeah,
And
you also.
I was still running 5 to 7 miles a day. I
That's
was still lifting weights. I was still go home after work. I was cooking. I was doing my girl's hair. I was washing clothes. I was cleaning the kitchen. I was cleaning the living room. I was doing everything, literally.
What was
would you say
she
that
doing?
would
Being
you say
upset
that
with
you was
me and trying to make me
disciplined
prove my
to
love.
maintain your sanity during that period of time?
Say that one more time.
Sorry, I said, would you say
You
the
breaking out.
Yeah,
discipline
Fran,
you
you're
cut out
breaking
off,
up.
Fran.
during that period of time?
Fran, you were breaking up.
I am a Freemason. I am a Freemason.
I said, do you think that your discipline maintained your sanity during that period of time?
I had no sanity at that point. My whole life was chaos. It was chaos because I didn't know how to react whenever I got home for lunch. So let me lay it out for y'all. I would wake up at 4 o'clock. I'd be
You
out the
told me
house
this
at four
story already.
fifteen. Yep. I'd be out the house at 4:15 to go run. I'd come back in the house. I'd sit, shower, and shave, make breakfast for myself as well as my kids, and leave it out. I'd walk to work 3/4 of a mile, right? At lunch, I'd walk back home and help my kids because we were homeschooling. I'd help my kids with the schoolwork that they were doing. And which 90% of the time, if I saw them in an unkempt manner, I would give baths, do their hair, put their clothes on, and go back down for a lesson. I'd take a 15-minute nap, and then I'd walk another 3/4 mile back to work. I'd work all day, and the army is very stressful. And then I'd go work out for an hour after work. I'd lift weights, and then I'd walk 3/4 of a mile back home. And then I'd cook dinner. And then I'd take my kids outside after they ate, and we go play, and we go hang out with their
That's a
friends.
hefty
So
schedule.
I hope you
it
celebrated Mother's
was.
Day.
Mother's Day was fucking ridiculous. Father's Day, I fucking hated Father's Day because I'm buying myself a gift with my own goddamn money that I didn't have because she blew it.
So out of 9, wait, I know that it's like, I know it's completely like it's completely possible, but it just sounds so bizarre for like you to say that you went through like 9 years of like no happiness, straight misery,
Damn, his whole
like
life.
OG,
what?
No. So
OG,
so so it wasn't.
The
That's
thing
OG,
is,
that's the
though,
difference.
OG.
the
Don't
thing
forget
is,
to tell
it
them.
doesn't
Don't forget
start
to
like
tell
that.
them about the. Don't forget to tell them about the multiple times where like 90+ days will go by and y'all wouldn't even engage in
Oh,
physical
easily.
intimacy.
And
Easily.
it does
There
it
was no
doesn't
What do you
start
physical
mean
like
by
that,
contact. There
though.
was
engage?
no
It doesn't
hugs.
start like
No
that.
hugs, no kisses, no sex. Right? No hugs, no kisses, no sex. It was
So
always
like,
held over my
was
head.
she I just
What
want
was
to
the
know, like, was
last
she
straw?
communicating things, was she communicating things that you weren't like meeting, to where she took away sex as like a privilege type of thing, or was it just like she would just randomly be like, okay, like I'm not dealing with you for 90 days? Like, where does it start? Like, where does that come from?
And that's the problem and the issue with narcissists because you can never tell. One day you're floating
Yeah.
on cloud nine. You're floating on cloud nine. And you turn around and you're in
What
hell.
did you
You're
receive?
at the lowest pits of hell.
Yeah,
And you're
man.
trying to work your way back
So,
out.
just out of
So
intrigue, what was the last straw for you? Like, what was the thing that
the
made you
last
say, okay,
the
I'm absolutely done?
yeah. The very last straw was when I got arrested. I had never been arrested. So let me preface this by saying I didn't have kids until I was 28 years old. I didn't have my first credit card until I was 35, 36 years old.
Ooh,
No, I'm wrong. Until I was 38 years old. I did everything in cash at that point in my
wow.
life. There was one point to where my petty cash fund in my bank account, not my savings account, but just my regular bank account was 20 grand, right?
Mhm.
So I was very strict with how I did things, very strict. And once we got married, that 20 grand soon became a negative 1,500, right?
Oh my god.
And we started battling after that. And the funny thing about this, like I tell this story, nobody believes me, but I showed my ex my old bank account statements. So I was telling her, I was like, I'm never going to badmouth her in that way. I
Mm-hmm.
understand at this point that it's a mental illness that she has to actually overcome. And I can't do anything about that. That doesn't mean that she's a bad mother. There are various different things that she does with her personality that
Mm.
unfortunately negatively influences my children. But I think, I hope that she does the best that she can do as a mother. And the last straw for me, regardless of my bank accounts being wiped out, right? So the 20 grand in my petty cash fund was just an easy thing. I had another 75 grand in savings that I just saved up over the years because that's what I did. I didn't have credit cards. I didn't have debt. I didn't have anything.
Okay,
But we
two
had we
things.
had a situation one night, and she ended up lying and got me arrested, and that was it for me. I was done because she understands, especially at that time, she knew what the framework was for cops versus. So I'm six. I'm pretty much 6'3", right? I'm 6'2" and 3/4. So, and I'm a big guy. I'm a big guy.
Mm.
When I was in shape and fit, I weighed 260. Now I'm 280 because I had some illnesses. But I was very fit. Always stayed fit. Was very health conscious. But she called the cops on me, and it was white cops in a very
Oh god.
suburban like atmosphere.
Yeah, that's common.
And I had one of my brothers that's a Mason, a white guy that told me, he was like, "No, man, I'm making you get divorced at this point.
Mm.
I'm making you get divorced. This is you're going to suffer. You've been suffering mentally, and you're going to take a hit financially, but you can recover from that. You're a smart guy, so
How
you have
long?
to get divorced at this point."
I have a question. How long
Hmm.
did you know her before you all got married? Somebody in the comments asked that. That's a
Before,
good question.
that's a very good question. So I was love bombed. We knew each other for, I want to say, about 8 months, and then I got her pregnant. And because of tradition at that point, which I believed in, which I don't believe in anymore, I'm a very traditionalist guy.
I bet.
Uh,
That's
yeah,
what Bina.
but
That's
because,
literally the same story that Bina
That
said.
then you
Was that they
changed.
were dating and
Then you
yep,
got married.
changed.
That's crazy.
and
They.
I sat down with her dad face to face and asked her dad if I could marry his daughter. That's how
Mm-hmm.
much of a traditionalist I was at that point. So again, I'm telling y'all this not just for gets and shiggles or to prove a point, but because you all are a different generation,
I
and
also
I
want to
have
say
a
though,
very go
I,
ahead.
I just want to say, the length of time with a narcissist doesn't matter. You guys could have been high school sweethearts, and then the person
Mhm.
changes on you, or you could know each other for 8 months or a year, and they change on you. Literally, the length of time doesn't matter. Like narcissists are exceptional liars, male and female. So
I just
there's
I
like you just have to look out for the traits. You know what I
I just
mean? You have to look out for the traits more than um assuming that dating for 3 years will ensure that the person's not a
Yeah,
narcissist. You know what I mean?
I agree, but I think that the way that narcissists work, it takes a while to even comprehend that they may be one. I think that that contributes to the damage because you've already accepted and or taken fault for things that you really didn't have to. So perhaps, and I only experienced it 3 years, right? Which I guess is why you said 3 years. But like, if you did it for even longer, like what he said, like 9 years, like I mean, I can't even begin to comprehend how much stuff you have to unlearn.
It's
Like,
tough,
and I'm
and
not
that's
trying to be
why I
Bert,
take
dramatic. Like,
therapy.
it's
come
just
on, Bert.
it genuinely is such a process. Like, and I hate to
Yeah,
identify with it because I'm just like, ugh, I don't want to be a victim. But it is a lot to unlearn. It
so
really is because the whole point of being a
it is.
narcissist is that really it is difficult to detect in the first place.
And the reason
At
why I
what
say
point
yes
did
and
you
no,
notice that she was extremely narcissistic?
um, I did. I actually and honestly didn't notice that until I went to therapy because I didn't know what a
Oh God.
narcissist was. And the reason why I didn't know what a narcissist was is because unfortunately, in our culture, we have a lot of narcissists in the older generation. A lot of the things that the older generation has done traditionally, from subjecting
Mm,
us to whoopings or beatings, but making you stay in a toxic relationship and call that love, it primes us and
yeah.
it preps us to be pushed into a narcissistic relationship because you begin to
Exactly.
identify with abuse as love.
Hmm.
Yes.
And
And
that's
And a
part
lot
of
of
the
and
people
problem.
especially in
crave that
America,
chaos.
It
They
starts in the
crave the
home.
chaotic love.
especially in
So
America, right? Like, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, so a lot of people crave, the drama, the chaos. When a relationship is peaceful, maybe they think something's wrong because you're so used to things being chaotic, maybe in your parents' marriage, in your friends' relationship. So when a person is coming with, the mood swings and whatever, it seems like, okay, yeah, these are the ups and downs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not. It's like
Yeah,
red
So
flag, run.
yeah, and I think that in
so
America, especially, right, like women. Sorry,
go ahead, Frank. Go ahead, Frank. No, you're fine. You're fine.
I
Go
was
ahead.
gonna say like women couldn't get credit cards for so long, etc. So for us, our grandmothers really were the first generation who, once they were kind of like in their marriage, could eventually have financial access. So like they dealt with a lot and they put up with a lot, and vice versa. But on top of that, that was learned to our parents and then to us, etc., etc. And it's just it's really disturbing because we expect things to be acceptable, and it's very rare that you learn it otherwise unless you get to witness things beyond what you have known. And for many people, they can't escape that kind of environment because it's all they have ever known, if that makes sense.
It does. And so with narcissists, you don't really recognize that you're in a relationship with a narcissist. Um, because they will begin to
Hmm.
make you feel insane. And you begin to take on Stockholm syndrome. And you start to actually um explain away and identify with your issues. Like there was a time, like Noble was saying, her and I wouldn't have sex 60, 90 days, right? And I translated that into saying, okay, well, we're not having physical interaction because I keep fucking up, you know. And I wasn't. I really wasn't.
Yeah.
At literally at the time, I was the epitome of what a great husband should be. But I found myself always seeing or coming home to a situation that would turn on a dime. And well, when you walked out this morning, you slammed the door behind you. So, you were upset because you were projecting. You were projecting because you've been cheating. And I knew that I wasn't cheating, but I'd be like, you know what? I'm not finna have an argument about this. I don't want to yell in front of my kids. That's not good for them. And the easiest thing to do, because I want to maintain my marriage, is to agree with what she's saying. So, you know what? I'm not cheating, and I'm sorry I'm making you feel like I'm cheating. What can I do to make you feel like I'm not cheating? But I also have needs that you're not meeting. So she might have been cheating. I don't know. I don't think she was, but I could be fool. I can be a fool about that. And I'd like to think she wasn't cheating because I want to maintain a certain aspect of my ego, and that's the honest truth about it. You know?
The worst part is that it's not really your ego. Like, that's just human nature. Like, you want to be a part of something, and instead you feel like you're just like a character in it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely it does. Absolutely.
And like,
This all
I.
started from a conversation about dating 40-year-old men. And
You're true. You're right. But it's so true, and it's like disturbing, and it takes a lot to come from. But ultimately, like your relationship, you have to develop with that person, like because whether they're 40 or otherwise, like you just gotta learn it and set those boundaries yourselves, you know. And they have to be healthy. A
Yeah.
healthy relationship does set boundaries.
I mean, a lot of
So one of the
narcissistic relationships start off with like boundaries. You know, it's just over time things just change. You know, like he was saying, I had an instance like probably the relationship I was in before I was in this one. Um, she was hella narcissistic. I was a simp, but you know, it's like that version of me is dead and gone. But
Right.
what I'm saying is, it's
They
like it's
kill it.
something.
Yeah.
What happened?
somebody mute.
Mute friend.
But you know, it's something that like you can be doing you can be the best dude you could be doing everything right, but to them, you know, it still ain't enough. And it's
mm-hmm.
like that to me, like that relationship was like the first encounter I had with like manipulation and like narcissism, because before that I didn't know what it was. I didn't know none of what these all these new terms they got like gaslighting and shit. I didn't know what any of that shit meant.
Yeah.
But all in that the last relationship I was in, I learned everything. But me, it's like, okay, after a while, I'm gonna be like, all right, you know what? You do you, I'm gonna do me, and I guarantee you, when I do me, you just gonna have to be miserable, and I'm just not gonna give a fuck at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it got to a point to where, you know, like me, this is how I was like, damn. It was like, okay, she had my location, I had her location. People really not smart. Like they really not smart at all. Like if you turn your location off, but you use Snapchat and you still got your location on Snapchat, it ain't you not that hard to find. But this is back when I was stuck in my ways. This is
Don't tell me she was getting piped down by
listen. Hold on.
Javante.
So
First
check
Oh
this out.
man.
Check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Right.
Oh man.
So look, I'm like, okay. It's like, because this is back.
You seen Jamonte's Abby on the Snapchat map? Oh man.
Hold on. So this was when I was still, you know, I was working my 9 to 5. You know, I was working my 9 to 5. I was, you know, trying to make more money, you know, so I could, you know, get my own place, right? So I was on FaceTime with her, and she's like, oh, I'll call you back. I'm finna go to Denny's. I'm like, all right. So I will go
First red
by.
flag, eating at Denny's. Continue.
Exactly. Hold on, Denny's not bad, but I will go by. 2 hours go by. I'm like, Denny's ain't that fucking far from where you live at. So
Boy.
I'm on my phone. I'm like, you know what? Let me just see what this location say. That bitch say unavailable. I'm like, all right. She think I'm dumb. Then I go on Snapchat and I open the map and I'm like, oh, she's somewhere she not supposed to be. My stupid ass, instead of just being like, my homeboy,
I don't
I
know what that
call him
means with your
homeboy.
ego.
He like, bro, you already know what she on. So I don't even know why you finna over there making scene. But me,
Javante.
I'm hard headed. I gotta see this shit. Like, you know. So it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I gotta be to work at like 6. So I'm going the opposite direction. I pull up. I see her car. It's like that. So I'm like, all right, bet. Snatch the car door open. She get up. He try to run. My ass. I'm going after him. Then for some reason she was like, hold on. This was a long time ago. I'm a changed man. But so I'm like, okay. So I'm arguing. We going back and forth. The dude talking shit. I'm talking shit. I'm mad. It's like, damn, I done wasted all this time on your ass, and you out here being this Athadiana. I'm mad as fuck. Like, goddamn, all the money, time out of this bitch put in your ass, and this the goddamn things I get for it. Like, goddamn. So, it was like, I was like, you know what? That night was crazy. So I was like, you know what, fuck it. It is what it is. I'm gonna let people do them, be them. But I'm gonna go back a little bit, and it's like to where how people be telling you like, oh, block this person and block that person. That shit don't mean anything. Cause like right when you not around them, they gonna unblock the motherfucker and they still gonna be communicating. So now I'm like, okay, so like me now, I'm just like, okay, if I gotta tell you to do all this shit, like I don't need to be with you because you're on the bullshit.
Wait, so you were willing to take her back even though you like caught her up
Absolutely
in
the
the
fuck not.
lie?
Absolutely the
Oh, I
fuck
thought
not.
that's what you were
Hell
just
no.
saying.
I said I'm gonna go back to before, like when I first started peeping some funny shit going on.
Oh, okay.
So
But
hell
but
no.
but B Train, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
bro, I think like as young men, like I think that's something I think those moments for us are needed and they're going to happen
100%.
because
Yeah.
like I always say this, bro, like we be growing up and you think you need to just you want to be a gentleman, you want to be chivalrous and stuff, but like bro, you're gonna come across one woman or you're gonna come across woman, bro, and it's like it's gonna be clear, it's gonna be evident, like she don't got good intentions for me. You just gonna get the vibe, you just gonna feel the energy, like I'm being played, and it's like
Yeah,
that's
that
something.
shit that
And
shit crazy.
it's certain experiences that'll literally just change you as like a young man, and like you'll get a better understanding of
Can I
like
make a
female
point?
nature and move different, like going forward, like
Yeah, it changed you like mentally.
Can I?
Yeah, you good,
that.
you good.
That
I just
happened. That
wanted to
happened
make
to
a
me in
quick point.
2018. Like that's 2018. That's when I like really got like my feelings like really hurt for the first time. Like really got my feelings hurt. Like I was really down bad. Like but I learned from that, and I ain't been the same since. That's why when I be on here, like when I be on here talking, like I'm
See,
not saying
okay,
this. I
let me
don't
jump
say
in real
things
quick.
for shock value. Like I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. Like I done experienced
Exactly.
it. Like
Okay, so two things. One thing really hate when just not just men, but people in general let like that one life altering thing make them hate like the whole
Nah, I
dating
don't
pool for
hate women. I
it's
years.
don't
not
hate
They
women.
be
it's
It
like
not
don't
that
be like
turns
that.
disliking
It don't
women.
be like
you
that.
like it's an ongoing thing on Twitter for men to be like, yeah, this girl broke my heart when I was
Yeah.
16. Now I'm like treacherous to everybody. Like I hate that mindset.
No,
But
literally,
for
Oh yeah,
a person will
advice,
be
that's
some
forty
advice.
carrying a
foolishness.
Wait.
kindergarten heartbreak.
Okay, I want to say the second part too, real quick. The best piece of advice my married mother gave me was in the dating pool, you reduce like the toxicity. That's why I don't think I've ever been in any relationship, that was like crazy and bad because you in the beginning don't ever tell anybody your expectations because they will try to meet them just to be there.
Of
And at the
course.
same time, as
Absolutely.
soon as you see one red flag or something that you don't like, leave. No, you don't owe anybody explanation. I don't owe nobody nothing. If I feel like, oh, you were lying to me about where you said you were early in a relationship, you told me that you was gonna do this and you didn't come through, leave. We are young, you can leave. I have
Well,
ghosted people so many times. It's so many people on this planet earth that probably think my number don't work no more. Like, you have to leave because when you have like these high value standards for yourself, you prevent low value people. Like, I've never been cheated on to the extent of like how Jay Glass was saying, somebody had a baby on, like stuff like that. I've never been through that. Not to say that it won't happen, because of course I could be married and something happens, but you really protect yourself from like low vibrational situations when you cut people off in the beginning. Like, oh, like don't try to say like, oh, well, they can work on it, because she told me, my married mom said, when
Yeah.
somebody like shows you who they are in the beginning, they rarely ever change. Once people are grown, they rarely change. So if you can't accept them for who they are, like, but she was saying like, stuff like, oh, if he leave a sock somewhere, you just like stuff like that, you could work on. But when it comes down to just like lying, deceit, just the core values, leave. Save yourself the trip. Like
Uh,
it's too many people out here to even give people the time of day and
And
attention.
that's the
Like
thing.
I said
Just
earlier in the panel, I was like, there's
yeah.
probably 12 people out here that even know my middle name. You don't get much out of me, like, in the very beginning, because you really have to protect yourself and your sanity. I'm the type of person where I want my husband to be like the first person to
Mhm.
ever really get the full-fledged living together, cooking, all that kind of stuff, because I don't allow men to just come shack up in my
He
house and
should be the
live and
second.
play
He should be the
home. I'm
second
not doing none of
person.
that.
He should be the second person. You should make sure that you're the first person.
No,
That's
I'm
what
saying
she's implied.
like I'm saying for like the whole
and
cooking,
that's the
cleaning,
thing.
wife duties type of thing. Like I'm not shacking up with a man that I just met 2 months ago to try to play house. Like no, I'm a very
Yeah.
Yeah.
intentional person.
But Zaria,
And
I think too,
it's
and that
you don't
this is
develop
what
you
because
don't
you
develop a
say
dislike for women. Like I'm B Train likes women, like I like women, but you just get a better understanding of female nature, so you know how to like move
Yeah, you
better
know
going
what to
forward. That's why when I've
okay, but
said
can I
that's why
just
when
say
I've
that
said
we
certain
should
things on
generalize?
here,
but that
when I've
but
said
what
certain
you
things on
experience
here, like Fran and other people
what you
like will like
experience
raise an
emotionally.
eyebrow and it's like no, it's
Uh-uh.
not like when I say that I don't I don't and haven't ever perpetually like
No, but
taken women out
Okay,
on
Noble,
dates and
but you
stuff.
know damn well I'm not raising an eyebrow at everything. You know that damn well. When you say you won't get to on water, yeah, I'm raising an eyebrow. When you say that you don't trust people, I completely fucking understand that. Like, I don't trust anyone either. I'm very, very picky with
And that,
my
yeah.
friendships, etc. But like, I completely agree with Z on the fact that, like, yeah, I was naive before and I didn't listen to my mother, even though she did listen to her mother. And like, I took a risk and it ended up hurting me. And I ended up in a scenario where I was hurt, like, to the point, it was literally mid pandemic. And I was just like, I didn't eat. I didn't leave my bed. I didn't leave my room. I was beyond depressed. Like, I was at like the ultimate low in regards to myself and my life. And like, I felt like I like legitimately could not breathe. Like I was in ultimate like fright or flight and like full in flight mode. Like I didn't know what to do. Ultimately, like, yes, you do have to be picky, and those red flags are so important. People minimize them. They're like, it's just one. Like, no, that person will have that attribute for life, most
I think
likely.
also it's
They've either
important
learned
for
it.
just
Go ahead.
just um to add on everything Maria also said. Don't tell a person what you've been through in the beginning part of a relationship or what you've tolerated in another relationship, because then they know your bullshit tolerance. And like in the beginning of a relationship, you don't want that amount because people treat you them way or a little bit better than the last person, right? So let's say you're in an abusive relationship. Now the person's not abused physically, and let's say you and I get into an argument, and then he be like, "Well, at least I'm not beating you, the last guy, or whatever, something like that." You know what I mean? Using that trauma against you.